Hello and welcome to Verdi's lecture. This will be a frequent episode on YouTube where I will explain stuff out of my point of view. Things like esports in general based on Rainbow Six Siege, esports becoming a player, of what to think about when you are really, like, if you want to push your career into gaming. About Rainbow Six Siege, for example, how does it evolve in esports? Game development itself based on esports facts, etc, etc. So there's a lot of things to talk about from my point of view, because I think that sometimes many people are having issues understanding, and they're more pressuring than actually understanding where the market is, what's like kind of an issue, and instead of yelling they should help. So there's kind of there's a lot to talk about, let's say, and I will put this videos like this in a I hope in a high frequency on YouTube. So you can discuss with me in the comments. You can leave a sub, or you can just yell at me to talk so much crap. So let's see about that. But our first topic is esports ready, game development and community growth. Actually, this is more based on Rainbow Six Siege, because this is obviously my main focus, because I love the game so much. Let's go about the age of the game. The game was released December 2015. Now we have it March 2017. And based on this kind of age, the game has a lot of players. I just know the Steam charts. You can look them up yourself. And based on February, when we were at the Invitationals, we were checking the numbers, and the same age of when the Invitational were, the same daytime age, let's like call it a days, like I was like 380 days or something of age of a game. So based on that, compared to Counter-Strike, the game Rainbow Six Siege had more players on Steam than Counter-Strike had, like Counter-Strike Go had when it was released, and it was at the same age. That's actually pretty brilliant. That's awesome. And for everyone knows actually that the game is released on Uplay. So if we actually would know the numbers on Uplay, we would just probably explode in our minds, because there's so many players in Rainbow Six Siege right now. Even Ubisoft said, like, we never experienced, or we would never think about that we would have so many players in the game. That is amazing. That's so good, and it's just growing. I mean, right now we have more players than actually when the game was released. This is a tendency which is completely rare when it comes down to release games. When you look at Grey Goo or at Act of Aggression, those games were like peaking at the sale and then dropping dead. Like, this is what usually games have as a tendency. Like, they peak out at the release, like 2 days later, then maybe they try to get a recession again with a summer sale or whatever, and then they're dead. So right now Rainbow Six Siege is completely opposite. It just grows, and it goes on. So, which is really good, and so it actually shows that people are committed to the game. And this is a very good foundation. Even the developers are committed. So based on the development, we have now facts like we have anti-cheat, bugs, new features, and patience. Those are my bullet points for development right now. So going through anti-cheat, we started out with Fair Fight. Everyone was yelling at Fair Fight. Okay, so at the beginning, there weren't much players. Well, there were a lot of players, but still, there weren't much. Fair Fight is a statistic-based kind of anti-cheat tool. So, for example, if a player is having 1,000 matches and he just has one death in those 1,000 matches, it will count him out and say, okay, this is statistically impossible, so we have to check him, and boom, he's out. But this is everything compared to every player. If you just have like 15 to 25k of players, you have not so much statistics to work on, so the anti-cheat tool can actually make a difference or work out as intended, because there's not enough players. So they realized it, and sooner or later they switched to BattleEye, and woo! That just amazing. I mean, that is pure amazing stuff when you go in game and you just see all the bad players being banned. So that problem has been taken care of in a very good fashion. So everyone was yelling, and they delivered. But the patience paid off, as you can see. So it's pretty good. So now, going over to bugs or to issues in the game. Everyone is crying about the hit drag and about other bugs, and I to be honest, I can't be more annoyed by that as I am right now. With the hit rec, did you see the invitationals? Yes. The teams qualified for it. Yes. What do? They live with these issues because they compensate on it. So practice to compensate it. Don't yell at the developers like, hey, you have to fix it or I won't play your game. They say, like, okay, then don't play the game. We have to work on it. It takes time. Yes. So live with it because you can compensate. Because if you have a hit rec, this is your model and here's the hitbox because the model is moving like this. Okay. Aim here, not on the model. This is like logical assumption. Just do it. There's no problem behind it. If they fix it, you reset. I mean, it's practice. This is just simple practice, okay? So it's like you play soccer on a very, very bad grass field. And then you have to get used to it because this is what you get. You have to practice on it, you have to play on it, you have to win your tournament. No one will cry about that. Well, they will cry because it's so bad, but obviously they still play. So go play on it and the same in game. Just play. I mean, practice to compensate on it. It's just good. They will work on it. They know because everyone is yelling. So they know. Just work on it, work on yourself and compensate on it. There's so much more. Just compensate on it. There's like heavy things, which I heard, like there's a frost trap bug that you kill the frost trap, but you still get trapped, which is, yeah, kind of meh, but they know it and they will fix it. Sooner or later, they will fix it. It's not, I mean, to be honest, nothing took longer than like really a month or something to be fixed. So, to be fair, just give them time. And going over to the features, I mean, they're coming with awesome features. They're coming with the boxes, with the loot boxes. They're coming with new skins. They're probably working. Obviously, I think. I mean, they will work on a pause function. There's so much they're trying to fix into the game, which is amazing. I mean, you just saw all the videos. I mean, I hope they're working on the pause function, to be honest. But still, even though we can live without it, it just worked. The game will work. But there's so much they're adding. And, I mean, to be honest, every patch has just... it changed the game so much that it made the game even more lovely. And right now, I'm so much addicted to the game, I can't even stop playing. I mean, it's so good. Based on that, guys, please have patience. I mean, you have to be patient. They will deliver. Instead of crying, try to have constructive feedback. Constructive feedback is, okay, there's an issue here. You have the screenshot. Here's the video. Maybe solve it this way. So you post out the issue. You give an example of the issue. And you give an example of how to solve it. Like, you just give your opinion on how to solve it. Don't like, oh, this is bad. Okay, or fix the hit rec. Okay, how do you want to fix the hit rec? Do you know the netcode? Do you know that? Do you know this? Do you know that? No. So maybe give examples. So this is like a very good based discussion. So if you want to discuss, for example, with your girlfriend, like, okay, who brings out the trash? And you forgot it. So you're like, I forgot it. And she will be like, yeah, you forgot it. And you're like, yeah, but you could also bring it out. So you will just go back and forth. No, you discuss it like, okay, I forgot it. I'm so sorry. But you offer her in a kind of way, a new solution by saying, I will bring it out in 15 minutes after I finish my work. So why not doing like this in Rainbow Six Siege? Well, actually here in discussing about the issue. So you go, okay, this is the hit rec issue. I just showed you a video. Is it possible like to sync more the model, or is it based on the speed of the model? Just go into detail and try, even ask them. Maybe they I mean, Ubisoft is not known to not reply. So maybe you just try to act like this. So that is just all summing up the patience. Just give it patience. If you are not that much patient, just don't write anything, because I don't think that deconstructive feedback will help at all. Because it's just like you're writing something and everyone's like, oh yeah, okay, so he wrote something, he's mad, and yeah. Probably the first answer will be, you mad, bro? So yeah, it won't work. So patience, patience, patience. The game actually evolved. I mean, looking at the player base, we started out, we could see curves just going up. I mean, at the Invitational, they showed it, it's just crazy. The metagame changed. I mean, how much, even if every patch changed the metagame, and right now the game is so strategically with aim, it's so good. Right now, I mean, you have a Blackbeard, maybe you don't pick a Blackbeard. If I pick Blackbeard, I don't see a difference between having a shield or not, but it's so good. It's just awesome to see, like, people are using Montagna fused with a shield. There's so many variation in the operators right now, which is amazing. And comparing to the release of the game and the state right now, they have a new menu. They reworked Uplay. They're working on so many things. They're working on loot boxes, so many new skins. The skins are really cool. We have the charms. We have the elite skins. We have awesome maps. I mean, Coastline, amazing map. Border, amazing map. Favela, it's like a crazy map. I don't like Skyscraper so much, but it's more or less, I don't like the design. The map is great, but I don't like the design at all. But this is my personal opinion, so don't nail me on that. Yeah, so if we're going from the release to now, the game, it developed like a 200%. It just changed 200%. It's just getting even better. I mean, we have new destruction. We have we have the destruction based on the bullets, which is amazing. So yeah, just again, patience. The game is already showing so good tendencies, and it will be bigger as we can imagine with only your help. So this is going to be really, really good. Going to eSports in Rainbow Six Siege, they did a different approach. They went actually to the step-by-step, like baby steps approach. They started out with small tournaments with the Go Force. Then they went into a Pro League. They had the Xbox and PC Pro League. They actually had a very big event with the IEM in Katowice, which was pretty nice, to be honest, to start up with the game, to show it to the audience. But what they did right here is the step-by-step approach. Going in, you can have the if you do it, for example, like Shootmania. Shootmania went into full ESWC, full IGL, big tournament, 100k prize money. Everyone will be like, whoa, you know, so big. But the budget for those events is completely burned by one event. But what did Ubisoft do? They had 3 Pro League seasons. A bit smaller, not big. In the first 2 didn't even have audiences, only like invited audiences, but not much. The third had the audiences, and it had to be, I mean, imagine, the third Pro League had to be, they had to resize the audience because the tickets were sold out within minutes. I mean, the Invitational was sold out completely. We had the 500 tickets sold out with VIPs and everything. So imagine that. And other games just burned the whole, like, if you cluster the 3 Pro Leagues for Xbox and PC together, plus the Invitational, other publishers or investors, let's say, would have burned their full budget onto one event. And this is what Ubisoft did not do. And this was the reason why the games kept growing, because they didn't burn everything, they just had a very good investment curve. And if we would look into the viewer numbers, we'd see like this. It just started out pretty good, then it went down, and then it just exploded. Season 3 was crazy, and Invitation was even more crazy. Invitation was just, wow. I mean, you can't imagine the number. It just blew my mind. You know, it was just amazing. Esports, the thing is now, Rainbow Six needs to attract the bigger orgs. There we have, in my opinion, a false approach to the game by Ubisoft and the ESL by going that the players own the spots. I can understand that we go into a major tournament where this is like once or twice a year, where we say, okay, the players own the slots and not the org, because that makes it more exclusive to the players, and it's not this is not bad, to be honest, not bad at all. But what I see as an issue is that you have a Pro League where the slots are owned by the players. So you have regular play days, you have regular finals 3 times a year, you have offline finals, you have relegations, whatever, and the orgs just own nothing. I mean, the players go to the org, the players say, okay, screw you org, even with the contracts, I don't want to go into contracts, I will do a separate video about that, and they leave it, and the org is like, okay, so we invested into the players, and the players didn't give us anything in return for our investment. They just dropped us out of Pro League because the players have it in their hands. This is not good. In a Pro League, in a league system, where you have standings, and an offline final, you go, org owns the slot, because the org then can be sued by the organization who's actually organizing this event if a player is doing a misbehavior, the hoster can go to the org and say, fine your player. We fine you, and you do it with your player. We don't care. Now the org says, well, okay, if they leave, we don't have a slot, so we have to be careful about that. So the actual hoster of the tournament will go to the player and say, hey, you did a mistake here, and the player says, I don't have a contract with you. And he's like, okay, well, you can't give me penalty points or whatever. So, you know, it's like not working out, and it just does not look professional in a kind of way. So this has to change. To have in a pro league, you have to have the orgs to own the slot, because then they have more control about the players. They can teach the players, they can develop the players, and they can see them evolve. So also salary will evolve in this kind of way and a bit better. Right now, the salary would be like, the team will be like, hey, we have a pro league slot. Let's say Zizou, okay? So Zizou, they don't have an org. They just did their own minor, like not minor, but they have their own org, let's say. But if NIP comes to Zizou, Zizou will be like, okay, we want 2.5k each player to, it's just a hypothetical number, okay? So this is really not, this is just crazy. They're like, okay, we want 10k each player to have, for you to have the slot. NIP says, okay, we invest, like, so 50k, every player has per month, every player is coming to us, every player gets their salary, we get the spot. Well, we're now in Pro League. And then after 2 months, Zizou says, dude, no, I'm sorry, bye-bye. And then NIP will be like, okay, so now we don't have any slot because the players own the slot because, yeah, they just left the org. So this is not good. So basically, this is what you want to have to change. And this will, again, then, if you see the bigger numbers, like if we see maybe a name, we already have a flip side, but if we see a Liquid, if we see an Energy or whatever organization, there is Luminosity, Immortals, Mouse Sports, maybe. We already have Key Dynamics, like the German dogs. We have a PENTA Sports in this. We maybe a Heroic, maybe an Astralis, maybe a North. There's so many possibilities which we can actually see in the game. So this is something which will come if the investors will come into the game. So right now we are in 2017. This year will be the year where the game will have to prove itself. So the game has to prove that it's worth to be invested on. And we're like, what? Invested on? Why? We already showed it. No, we saw the first year. The first year was just, okay, survival. Show the game. Right now, the game said, okay, we can survive. Now we have to prove to be worth to be picked up by PGL, GGC, MLG, DreamHack, and many others. There is, okay, Casper, whatever, who's going to pick up the game and maybe invest into the game and see, okay, well, this can work out, or Alibaba, or whatever. There's so much which we can do with Rainbow Six Siege. But right now, this year is all about survival of the game. Well, actually, to prove to be worth it. It's just the worthiness proof for Rainbow Six Siege, if it's worth to be picked up by a different organizer, except ASL. So that will be really, really the key year. So that only can work if the community, you guys, will actually work and help it. So visit the game, just watch the streams. I mean, you already obviously enjoy the game, and you probably want to discuss in the comments with me. You probably will be like, oh, that Verdi, oh, his English is so bad, and oh, all his opinions are bullshit. Well, actually, if I start with this video, if I start a conversation like this, I'm happy because people are caring about this stuff. So for all of that, this will be, we have to, we just have to prove right now that Rainbow Six is worth it, and that it can sustain an esport to be a bigger esport title. And right now, so many players are coming to the game, and just all because of you, the community, the guys who are just watching this video, because all of you, this is already amazing. The journey is so good. I mean, I could have never imagined to be where I am right now. So guys, thank you so much. This was it with eSports Ready, game development and community growth of Rainbow Six Siege. Thank you so much for tuning in. My next video will be coming up shortly, and you guys are amazing. Thank you so much, and bye-bye.